AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
This episode brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever find yourself playing the budgeting game? Shifting a little money here, a little there, and hoping it all works out? Well, with the Name Your Price tool from Progressive, you can get a better budgeter and potentially lower your insurance bill too. You tell Progressive what you want to pay for car insurance, and they'll help find you options within your budget. Try it today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Attack the Baseline, a WNBA podcast where every episode we attack our baseline knowledge of the WNBA. We're your hosts, John and Kristen Barber, and today we're back for a brief period of time to talk about the past week's coaching hires around the W. It was an interesting week of news because we had back-to-back coaching hires throughout 3 days in a row, leaving us with only one team lacking a coach, the New York Liberty. So we'll round it out and learn about the three new faces that we're going to be seeing next year. And before we get into all of that, let's see. Kristen, how are you doing?
I'm good. We had a pretty eventful weekend, getting ready for the week ahead. And I do want to mention, I'm not sure when our next episode will be, sometime, this week, early next week, hopefully. But there is an important election day coming up on November 4th. I'm sure there are very important elections all across the country. So please, I would highly encourage you to look up who is going to be on your ballot, because every single election, I think, is important to make your voice heard. And here in Pennsylvania, we have judges that are on the ballot. Supreme Court judges of PA. Very important. So please vote.
Yes. This is completely off the dome. Dominique Malone, go to the polls.
Does anyone say that?
No, of course not. Of course not. Get out there. Kristen's right. Important elections. Go out, do your civic duty, get in the ballot box, submit your names, press send, double check your ballots.
Flip it over.
Yeah.
Look at both sides of the ballot. Things are printed on the back.
Yes. Do all the things. And important. November 4th. You know what it is. Anyway, if you're new here, welcome. Happy to have you for the show. Unfortunately, the news is relatively light. We are most certainly in the thick of the WNBA offseason as we await more news about the CBA and then the ongoing off-season events to come. If you'd like to send us an email, you could do so at our email, attackthebaseline@gmail.com. Connect with us on Bluesky, Instagram, TikTok at ATBPod. Leave us a 5-star rating and review on whatever platform it is that you listen to. Press subscribe, tell your friends and tell your family, and help us grow the show and continue to spread the word of the W and women's basketball, the like. Okay, let's get to it here. Starting with the first signing of the week, Toronto brings in a familiar face. The coach that was recently let go from the former champion New York Liberty, it's Sandy Brondello. Welcome, Sandy, to one of the brand new expansion franchises, our first Canadian team. The Australian head coach finds herself at the reins of a new and exciting program. And what are you thinking? What are you thinking about that?
I love this. I'm obsessed with this. It's an incredible move by Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
I love that Sandy immediately got a job, showing the Liberty that she's a very desirable coach. So I still don't personally understand why they let her go.
Mm-hmm.
I think for Sandy, it will be a change of pace. She will be playing with a more development team rather than a championship caliber team. But that should be an interesting, challenge for her. But she's certainly up to it. And I think she's going to absolutely get the best out of any player that she coaches. So I love this for Toronto. I really think, like, if I were a free agent right now, I think that I would not be opposed to hearing from Toronto, knowing that I'm getting this championship coach and going to Canada, perhaps.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a bad deal.
Could be interesting.
Like, they might get more free agents than, say, like Golden State got. Well, of course, there's a million more free agents to begin with.
Yeah.
But just saying, I think they will be not an unattractive place to go.
No, I don't think they'll be unattractive. I think they'll be at least middle of the pack in terms of attraction. But who's to say? I can't project who's going to be the most enticing club to go to.
At least some of her former Liberty players, perhaps, may say, a player or two, may say, oh, I really liked being under Sandy.
Yeah. I think my 2 cents about Sandy is Sandy does love her stars, loves her, her starting lineup, and can sometimes run a bit of a shorter bench, doesn't necessarily go too deep. I would kind of hope that that was maybe part of just like the drive to get it done with New York, especially with who you have when you have, Sabrina and Stewie and Jonquel, and you've got these like larger than life star players. You got to just kind of go somewhat shorter. But now that she's going to be, with an expansion team, with a bunch of, likely veteran role players that could potentially bloom into stars like what we saw in Golden State, I just kind of hope that her mindset shifts to kind of what we saw from Natalie Nikaze and being willing to play everybody at any given time if you feel like that could be the right time to play them. Not to get stuck in one particular idea. And I don't think, fortunately for her, Toronto's going to have, immediate championship aspirations. Like when we talked to listener Tim about Golden State, when they were coming onto the scene, he said that Joe Lacob said, we're going to have a championship within the first 5 years of our program. And they made the playoffs in their first year. Could be trending, especially after, what could be a good offseason for them, considering that their program is 2 thumbs up, I would say, and attractive. That could be true. Toronto's not making any of those promises, but bringing in a coach with championship pedigree is certainly a good thing. And I certainly could see a situation where we're looking at Toronto. I don't know when, considering we might have a lockout, when that could actually be that, but they could be a playoff team based on the X's and O's that Sandy could bring. They have to fill out their coaching staff, but I would be very excited. I was very excited for Toronto that they got this hiring done. And I hope that it does ultimately kind of come back to bite New York, because they're the only team without a head coach right now. Mm-hmm. Like all things are sealed pretty much all around the league. Mm-hmm. That's kind of jarring. If I know there's some concern amongst Liberty fans, and what are they going to do?
Don't know. Couldn't tell you.
And I'm excited about this too. Comparatively now, like Toronto is going to be compared to Portland all year. Mm-hmm. So
currently, doing great.
You're doing excellent. You're doing excellent. You're way better liked right now, I will say.
Than Portland.
Portland. So we're going to see how that pans out. But yeah, just exciting.
John and I were talking about this a little bit a couple of days ago, where like months ago, before we even knew, the names of these clubs, we just knew like Toronto was getting a team, Portland was getting a team. And the Tempo name leaked on the WNBA website. We were like, oh man, this is not going well for Toronto.
Not their fault though.
Right.
The W's fault.
Seemingly that was the WNBA's fault for leaving their name up on the website by accident. But we were like, great, that's already a disaster. But now here we are. They're in a much better place.
Correct.
Than the Portland Fire.
Yes, who leaked their head coach on LinkedIn and then deleted the post. Well, because people saw it and were like, wait a second, you didn't formally announce this. And then 6 hours later, they say, yeah, we did sign him. Cool. So you're off to a decent start, Toronto. Congratulations on your new hiring.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
And now let's move down to Texas. Dallas, the Wings have signed head coach out of the University of South Florida, Jose Fernandez, another male coach. Let's call it what it is. However, a coach that has a significant amount of women's basketball experience. He spent time at USF from 2000 to this past year, so 25 years with the program. Significant tenure, I would say. Just looking at some of his credentials, he's a two-time AAC Coach of the Year, a two-time AAC Tournament Champion, a two-time AAC regular season title winner, 10-time NCAA tournament appearance, and a two-time gold medalist as an assistant with the U18 and U19 USA basketball programs. Not too shabby, if you ask me. And a pretty winning coach. Not a barn burner, but a positive career win-loss record with the program. When this hiring was made, my immediate thought was of Carl Smesko, a head coach at Florida Gulf Coast, who spent 20 plus years with that program and then makes the jump to the W. I will say, having experience coaching women's basketball is at least a plus. Any thoughts on Mr. Fernandez from what you've heard?
No, I mean, I obviously appreciate he has experience coaching women in a successful way. Really, my opinion on Dallas is I just hope that Paige Beckers and the other rookies on this team are happy with this decision. If they're happy, then great.
Right.
Then I do not have another opinion.
Yeah, if they're happy, I'm happy. Honestly, haven't really heard anything from them in regards to the hiring. But they're in the thick of the off season. I would find it hard to believe that Kurt didn't at least like talk to Paige about it in some capacity, like even float the idea.
I'm sure that Paige met him.
Probably likely. I think that's fair.
Well, I did hear somewhere that he's friends with Gino Auriemma. I don't know. I don't even remember where I heard that, but I saw that somewhere. So also, if he's friends with Gino, then perhaps he had met Paige previously.
Yeah. I mean, that would be a nice feather in his cap if that's the case. But I mean, the biggest thing is like Dallas could have signed Sandy. They decide to go, a more unorthodox route. Kind of similar to the Koklanis hiring, but of course he had much less experience just as a head coach in general than Coach Fernandez here. So like, we'll see what happens. If they have a result, if they have a season anywhere compared to how Atlanta was under Coach Smezko in his first year, then I think fans of the Dallas Wings will be super stoked with what he's able to get out of that team. I do think that the big difference being Atlanta was chock full of veteran leadership, and like all-star level players, and Dallas is like, Paige and company right now. But again, we already talked about it before. Who's to say that high level free agents aren't going to Dallas to play with Paige because they want to be excited about playing with Paige, just like we saw how many veterans came to Indiana to play with Caitlin. It's just kind of an undeniable fact. And I do believe that Paige will have a similar level of magnetism that would be attractive to free agents. Granted, what's the program look like down in Dallas? What's the, accommodations for veterans? We know they don't have those like some of the other programs around the country. So
yeah, but really like a big message that Dallas has been putting across is that we really want to make the Wings a team that veterans want to come to. We want to make this a desirable place for veterans to come. And they're working on the stadium and the facilities. They're working on it. So I would be curious actually to know like how serious they were in trying to get Sandy Brondello. I haven't heard, but just knowing like how much at least the Liberty players appreciated Sandy, it seems like getting Sandy is something that veterans, would have liked and would have attracted them to the team. So it is interesting to say how much they're saying we want to make this a place that veterans want to come to. And then you're hiring a coach that nobody knows. But
last thing
we'll
I have
see.
to say about Coach Fernandez, he apparently has 7 foster dogs.
Okay.
And that's kind of cool. So best of luck to Coach Fernandez in your first year with Dallas.
Courtney Williams played
under him, which is pretty cool. So if I haven't seen it. I looked around, didn't see anything, any comments that she might have made.
No, I didn't hear.
But if you've seen it, let us know. Send us an email or shoot us a comment on Bluesky. I would love to know if she actually has said anything. Maybe there was a Stud Bud stream a couple days ago, so maybe she mentioned something. But yeah, that's Coach Fernandez in Dallas.
Okay, so our last coach, a newly hired coach of the Seattle Storm, is Sonia Rahman, who was an assistant coach with the New York Liberty last year. So very curious if the Liberty were trying to hire her this year or not. But she got taken by the Storm. She went to and played at Tufts University, but she was a walk-on.
Oh, really?
In college, yep. And she mostly played off the bench. She was a guard, but she got hit by a car her junior year of college, so was sidelined, couldn't play, and because of that started becoming a coach, started learning how to coach, and since then had just been coaching. She became an assistant coach at Tufts. She became an assistant coach for the Memphis Grizzlies, an NBA team. And then she was hired on the Liberty. So she's had college, NBA, and W experience. Seems like people like her.
Yeah, I mean, 12 years building up the MIT program, head coach at MIT. That's...
Oh, yeah, head coach of the MIT basketball team.
Yeah, like a pretty sick gig. 2008 to 2020, before she bounced to the NBA, direct from MIT to the NBA. Those Grizzly teams in 2020 to 2024, a lot of interesting players on those teams, a lot of like really good campaigns for the Grizzlies from what I remember as, also a fan of the MNBA. But I like, you move over, you become an assistant in the New York Liberty, the year after they win their championship. You're there. Like, I know you mentioned like, oh, maybe the Liberty were going to try to sign her. I would have thought that if they were going to, I've changed my thoughts about this over the week, that like they would have just gotten it done as soon as they got rid of Sandy. So I don't know if that was like part of it, unless Ramen was like, no, I don't want to be the head coach. I have no interest being the head coach here, which could be the thing. I mean, that was her first year in the W. But I think she clearly has a good basketball brain, good assistant coaching experience, good head coaching experience at a college level. And I think, not to bury the lead, but the coolest thing is that she's the first Indian American woman to be in this position, to be a WNBA head coach. And I believe it was a friend of the pod, Shamika on Bluesky, mentioned that there's not a player of Indian origin in the league either. So this is like a very cool moment for people of Indian origin in the W. So I think that's very cool that this opportunity opened for Sonia. And now it gets us to this point where we have 7 female coaches, 7 male coaches, 1 head coaching vacancy, and New York has an opportunity to do the right thing. But I don't know what they're going to do. I'm kind of nervous that they're just going to hire somebody out of the NBA for that spot, given the market of New York. But again, that's for them to decide. Honestly, they could take forever to figure out who their head coach is going to be. Now that they're unopposed,
yeah,
I think it could just be an opening.
I mean, really, I feel like, why not? Like, at least see what this new CBA has in it. Right now, just everything is up in the air. We know nothing about what the off season and what next season is going to look like. So yeah, take your time.
Yeah. But yeah, kudos.
I mean, I would want to do it before free agency starts.
Oh yeah, of course. But
when's that going to be?
You could just wait, like, interview until the CBA's signed. The CBA's get signed, and then like, okay, sign your head coach, or like, I don't know, or just get it done this week. That would be nice for us from like a news standpoint. But I think the biggest news of this upcoming week is going to be the Halloween deadline for the CBA and the likely push that comes with that. But I'm kind of curious what New York's going to end up doing. But back to Seattle real quick. Appreciate their commitment to hiring women of color.
Well, that's what you get when you have women ownership. Correct.
Yep. Hard to imagine that Sue wasn't stumping to get, a creative I know she's a minority owner, but like, still, I just try, from everything that I hear about Sue Bird, she had to.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. It was all women. I don't think it's currently all women owners of the Storm anymore, but it's at most.
Sure.
Mostly women owners.
Yes.
Okay. So we wait for the Liberty news. We wait for the last 2 players of Unrivaled plus the development pool to be announced. We wait for the CBA.
Yeah. And it's not like, I'm kind of surprised that we haven't put a bow on Unrivaled.
Yeah.
I've really been holding back from talking about, the new players and the old players. There was a rumor, I guess, that was probably more than a rumor of Dominique Malunga leaving Fenner and her, but now she's in like some sort of legal dispute with the club because she's pursuing an opportunity in the United States, which has not been specifically defined as Unrivaled, but like what else would it be? She's not going to Athletes Unlimited. I mean, she could, but like that would be kind of surprising to me. So I'm penciling Dominique in as one of the final two, and then that leaves the last opening spot for a handful of either former Unrivaled players or another new Unrivaled player. Really kind of up to them, but I would hope that we get that done too, because then we can start previewing that, because that's going to be right around the corner. And then I hope we get a schedule too. Like, give me a schedule.
Yes.
I want to get ready to get down to Miami. I
know. I'm starting to get chilly here.
Well, like you said, that's kind of going to do it for what we've got this week. By the time you hear us next week, we'll have some form of news about the CBA. So look forward to that. Again, you can send us an email at attackthebaseline@gmail.com. Leave us a 5-star rating and review on whatever platform it is that you listen to the show. Hit subscribe. Connect with us on Bluesky, Instagram, TikTok. Tell your friends, tell your family about the show. And again, we just appreciate all of you for listening, even in the quietest parts of the off season before we get loud with a bunch of other stuff. But anyway, that's going to do it for our quick show here. Kristen, I'm staring at the baseline. What are we going to do?
Attack it.
Attack the baseline. Thank you so much for listening. And we will be back soon to talk about maybe the CBA getting signed. Fingers crossed.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.